Mr. Vassie Scott.
How's everybody doing? Good evening. What a night for baseball. We're here, and I am so proud to be in this facility. Looks so good with the purpose of honoring a very, very special lady. If you grew up in life like I did, all we had was a bat, ball, and a glove.
You got that right.
It wasn't basketball, it wasn't Nintendo or whatever else they do in PlayStation 2. It was a bat, ball, and the side of a house. And that passion was not only shared by me, but our featured guest today. Mrs. Mamie Peanut Johnson had that same passion. Unfortunately, at a certain point in time, when women were organized and playing ball, they turned their backs on her. But you know, when one door is closed, another one is always open.
So glad.
Yes, ma'am. The Professional Negroes Men's Baseball League realized talent is talent, regardless of person or gender. After trying out for their team, not only did she make that team, but she excelled on that team. As a pitcher, she had a record of 33-8. There were the likes of Satchel Paige and many others that were there for wisdom and guidance for her. But unlike the pitchers of today, she carried a stick with her. She had a batting average of .270. This was a bad mamma jamma. So on behalf of 100 Men, the city of Lorain, we just want to honor our guest tonight, Miss Mamie Peanut Johnson. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Carletta Dunlap. I'm president of the Negro Business and Professional Women. And it is such a good evening to be here with you, to meet you and honor you. The Negro Business and Professional Women would like to honor you with this baseball. And congratulations.
Hello, Peanut. My name is Joel Arredondo, President of Lorain City Council. We'd like to thank you for being here in our great city. We are the 10th largest city in this state of Ohio, so we thank you for your honor and your presence here. Just on a brief note, back in 1928, when my grandfather came here to Lorain to work in the steel plants, they organized sandlot baseball leagues out of the steel plant. And he came from Mexico, along a lot of the workers back in the 20s. But they started their own teams. They had business professional people back them as sponsors. But my grandmother, although she never played, she was one of the big supporters of him. So once again, I congratulate you for the contribution you made. To bat .270 today in the major leagues is like, what, $3 million a year? So once again, you might have been ahead of your time, but you're here with us, and we thank you for your presence. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Popio, we'll let you take it from here.
Okay, and it's with pleasure at this time that we introduce the Major League Baseball players from Lorain County who were able to obtain their goals of playing professionally thanks to the pioneering work of Rube Foster, Mamie Johnson, and the others we are honoring tonight. Starting off first with T.J. Stadden. T.J. led Elyria West to Lorain County's only state championship in baseball back in 1992. He was drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 10th round in '93. He had professional team experience with the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Montreal Expos, Tampa Bay Devil Rays, and just an outstanding player in Lorain County's baseball history, T.J. Stadden. Mr. Tony Miller. As a 1998 graduate of Southview High School, Tony was an All-State and Honorable Mention High School All-American on the baseball diamond. Upon graduation from Southview, Tony attended the University of Toledo, where he was a 3-year letterman on the baseball team, in addition to earning 2 letters in football. In June of 2001, Tony Miller was drafted in the 10th round by the Colorado Rockies in the Major League's first-year player draft. In 2006, he played AAA ball at Colorado Springs Sky Sox, and then was traded to the Toronto Blue Jays and played for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. 2007 was his final season with the Chicago Cubs, but he had a great career in pro baseball. Tony Miller. Mr. Nandi Cruz. As a 1987 graduate of Southview High School, Nandi was first-team All-Ohio in 3 sports: football, basketball, and baseball. Nandi was USA Today's Athlete of the Year in the entire state of Ohio at the high school level for Southview High School. In 1987, he was drafted by the Chicago White Sox. In 1990, Nandi was added to the 40-man roster. He was injured that spring training and did not play. In '91, Nandi was traded to the Toronto Blue Jays. His final season was '93 with the Blue Jays. Mr. Nandi Cruz. Anton De Jesus. Anton was outstanding at Amherst High School, where he was Lorain County Mr. Baseball his senior year. Anton continued at the University of Kentucky, where he won numerous honors. After his award-winning career at Kentucky, Anton was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals and had some very good years in their system. Mr. Anton De Jesus. Michael Taylor. Michael pitched Admiral King to the Division I Regionals in 1991 after striking out 15 Lakewood St. Ed's batters in the district championship game. Michael Taylor was drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the '91 Major League Baseball draft and pitched in a nationally televised game. Michael Taylor.
Very good. All right.
Albert Stacy Jr. Albert Stacy Jr. lettered 4 years in baseball at Midview High School. He lettered 4 years in baseball, and he also did well in the other sports. He averaged 13 points per game and led the team in basketball and assists from his guard position. He was Midview's all-time season batting leader in the sport of baseball with an average of .498 his senior season, a season in which he struck out only 2 times and was named to the Lorain County All-Star team. He was named a preseason All-American prior to his sophomore year at Cleveland State University. His batting average his freshman year was .295, followed by .364 his sophomore season. He had 8 home runs, batted in 26, and handled the last 184 chances from his first base position without an error, and was named one of Cleveland State's most outstanding athletes. Al Stacy was drafted in the 25th round by the Chicago Cubs and played 2 years for their minor league teams, batting .289 and .315 respectively. Mr. Albert Stacy Jr.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen.
Congratulations to all these outstanding men from the Lorain County who did well. Again, thanks to the pioneering work of Mamie Johnson, Rube Foster, and the others we honor this evening. Congratulations.
Stay right here, gentlemen, for just 1 second. Stay right here for 1 second. Thank you, Mr. Popio. Ladies and gentlemen, it is truly an honor to be standing here on this field with these gentlemen that played professional baseball and all coming from the city of Lorain, the great city of Lorain. So can we get one more round of applause for these folks, please? Thank you, gentlemen. You know, I've had a couple of honors in my life, and today is no different. I'm here with a living black legend of baseball, Miss Mamie Peanut Johnson. I had the opportunity this weekend in sitting with her. I'm one of those people that I want to hear all the great stories, and I'm sure she has tons of them, but she gave me one that I can definitely appreciate about her most fond memories in baseball. And the one that she told me that I just loved, when I asked her, she says, when I said, "What was your favorite memory in baseball?" And she says to me, "Striking all those men out." And I just absolutely love that. So Mamie, again, congratulations. The City of Lorain we're glad to have you here. But I have to say this, none of this would be possible if not for Ernie Nimmons, who brought this to Ray Carrion in the City of Lorain some years ago to talk about a Rube Foster night. And for some of us, you know, we may not have known who Rube Foster was, but today we do. And with that, Ernie, if you could come forward, please. I'd like to present you with this picture signed by some of the great Negro baseball players of all times. Without you, Ernie, none of this would have been possible without you having the vision to bring this to the City of Lorain. So for that, we are grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, baby.
I got it, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Leon Mason. I represent the office of U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown, and I'd like to welcome Ms. Mamie Peanut Johnson to the great state of Ohio. A lot of people don't know this, or many of you do. One of the benefits of working for an elected official is you get to meet a lot of the trailblazers of the first. In the past 2 years, I've been able to meet the President of the United States, and now I'm able to meet you, Ms. Peanut Johnson. A month from now, on June 23rd, we'll be celebrating the 40th anniversary of Title IX. So as Ms. Peanut Johnson had to blaze a trail for minority women in sports, so had others have to blaze a trail for people to women to be able to play sports in general. So on June 23rd, again, we'll mark the 40th anniversary of Title IX, which not only allowed women and young ladies to participate in athletics, but also allowed for women not to be discriminated against in sports. So again, on behalf of U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown, I'd like to welcome you here. And from a quote from a former KC Monarch, Mr. Cub himself, and the first African-American to play for the Chicago Cubs. It's a beautiful day for a ball game, so let's play too.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, sir. Mayor.
Welcome, everybody. I'm your mayor, Chase Rittenauer, and I got to say, welcome to this great event here tonight. Rube Foster Night is one of the events that, in my mind, embodies what our international city's about. We've got Miss Mamie Peanut Johnson here. Mr. Nimmons is here as well. And I'm going to steal some of what Leon Mason said with respect to the World Trailblazer. What Peanut Johnson did here in terms of trailblazing with respect to women's rights, with respect to civil rights, using the sport of baseball as an example. It was a long and hard fight, but she used this as an example to blaze that trail, to break through, and that deserves a round of applause. Thank you. So with that, you heard some of her stats. They were pretty impressive. Leon's a Chicago Cubs fan. I'm a Chicago Cubs fan, and we got a couple Cubs up here. 270 batting average, 33-8. I'd take her on the team today, quite honestly. I don't know if you've looked at the Cubs in the standings, but we're last. So we'd gladly draft her and probably all these gentlemen up here. But nonetheless, today, to celebrate in Lorain, I have a proclamation here for you, Ms. Johnson, commemorating today as Peanut Day in the city of Lorain. Thank you very much for coming out. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you. Very well done.
Thank you. Would you like to say a couple words?
I don't usually talk too much, but I just want everybody to know this is a beautiful day for me, and I thank you very, very much.
Oh, yes. Yes. Ernie, get in there. Get in there. Yes. Get in there. Take your Come on, Ernie. Get in there. Get in there.
We're going to have a big fight.
Hey, guys.
The strongest families are built one moment at a time. For more ways to make every day count, visit facebook.com/makeeverydaycount.
Good throw by the youngest mayor in Lorain City history, Mr. Chase Rittenauer to Colin Bryant. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Some dogs fetch and roll over. Some dogs take you to Spain and shopping for refrigerators, help you get through grad school, start your own business, go on hikes in the Grand Canyon. Some dogs you trust with your life every day. Being partners with a guide dog is having the freedom to do what you want in life. Nothing more, nothing less. And with your help, nothing need ever change that. Call 1-888-884-DOGS or visit guidedogs.com.
We're just a few minutes away from the game's first pitch. Again, Elyria and Lorain. You say those two schools, and you know it should be a heck of a contest, whether it's baseball, football. Let's hope they get together at some point in the future on the football field. It's been a long time, and basketball, they've been meeting up annually for the past few years, at least in the Lorain County Holiday Tournament. And tonight it's on the baseball diamond here at the Pipe Yard as it is game 2 of the doubleheader in the 5th annual Rube Foster celebration here in the city of Lorain. Vermillion won the opener. Rob Polinsky had that one for you on AM 930 WEOL. The Sailors knocked off the Clearview Clippers by a score of 4-3. Elyria in their black uniforms tonight. I'm not sure I've seen these before. Elyria High, black shirts, black pants, white letters and numbers trimmed in the red, and the Titans in their home whites. White shirts with the blue letters and numbers trimmed in the silver, and Lorain High with the gray pants. Finishing his warm-ups for the Titans, left-hander Marcel Geis. Again, he's a southpaw coming in at 1-1 with a 2.55 ERA. I'll tell you one thing that's impressive about Marcel Geis. 10 strikeouts, only 2 walks. So this is a young man that obviously, judging from those stats at least, will put the ball over the plate. And again, for Elyria High here in the top of the first inning, it'll be 3 juniors, Mike Izzarelli, Chris Emerson, and Mike Perrin, to hit against Marcel Geis. So here we go, Mike Izzarelli to lead off as the sun sinks somewhat in the west. Of course, now in the middle of May, we've got plenty of daylight before they will hit the lights here at the Pipe Yard. Mike Izzarelli, junior second baseman, to lead off for Elyria. Glad you've dialed in on AM 930 WEOL and, of course, on WEOL.com. Hey, if you're listening out there on the World Wide Web, drop me an email, TALCORN@WEOL.com. And Geis's first pitch of the ball game is up high for ball 1. Our home plate umpire, boy, what a great baseball player he was. Nandi Cruz is behind the plate. Sanford Washington out on the field. There's a bouncing ball up the middle into center field for a leadoff single for Mike Izzarelli. Pioneer fans like that. So Mike Izzarelli with a leadoff single for Elyria. Nandi Cruz, boy, he was a great, and I mean great, all-around athlete at Southview. Played football for the Southview Saints. Out on that basketball floor for Larry Stark. And, of course, a tremendous baseball player. Nandi behind the plate, Sanford Washington in the field. And Geis now working from the stretch as his first pitch to Chris Emerson is outside for ball 1. And Elyria decked out in black tonight. It's an interesting look for the Pioneers. Geis with a snap throw over to first, and Mike Izzarelli is back safely. Been a busy day for baseball here on WEOL. Tribe got things started with a 4-2 win over Texas. How about the performance today from Ubaldo Jimenez? There goes the runner. Throw down to second, the slide, the tag, and in safely is Mike Izzarelli with a stolen base.
Mike Izzarelli with the stolen base.
So Izzarelli with the stolen base. The pitch was down low to Chris Emerson. And the count is now 2-0 on Emerson. And Mike Izzarelli just got that black jersey all dirty. It's covered in dirt on the head first slide. There's a ball shot down the right field line, and it gets by the diving Desmond Geis. Coming around third, scoring easily will be Izzarelli. Heading into third, and staying right there is Chris Emerson with an RBI triple, and the Pioneers lead it by a score of 1-0.
RBI triple for Chris Emerson.
Tell you what, it was a great attempt out there by Desmond Geis, the right fielder for Lorain High, but he made the dive, couldn't get to that baseball, and then it bounced by him. And that allowed Emerson to go all the way to third, and scoring easily was Izzarelli. 1-0 Pioneers. And an opportunity to do some more damage. And stepping in is junior Mike Perrin. So Elyria with the early advantage. Emerson at third, nobody out. Lorain infield playing back as early in the ball game, perhaps willing to concede one more run here. The pitch to Perrin, that's a fastball right down the middle. Left-hander Marcel Geis taking a little bit of a stroll around the hill. And now the left-hander back on from the stretch. The pitch. There's a little pop behind the mound, and Geis goes behind the hill and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Let's set that Lorain High defense for you. Left to right in the outfield. Paul Camacho in left, Adrian Calez in center, Desmond Geis over in right. The infield, Antoine Edwards at third, Andre Morales at short, Ryan Osco at second, Thomas Holloway at first. Colin Bryant is the catcher, and again Marcel Geis on the hill. And now stepping in is freshman Marcus Inman. So the ninth grader batting cleanup. One down, runner at third. Elyria High has scored the game's first run. Izzarelli led off the game with a single, stole second, and Emerson drove him home with an RBI triple. Now the 1-0 pitch to Inman. That one's up high, and the count is now 2-0 on the freshman. And white number 16 trimmed in red on his black uniform. Man, Marcus Inman is a tall young man for a freshman. Geis working from the stretch, the pitch. There's another fastball that stays up high, and the count is now 3-0 on Marcus Inman, and I would think Eddie Piazza would have his freshman taking all the way right here. And we mentioned earlier, Indians with a very impressive 4-2 win over Texas today. Good outing for Ubaldo Jimenez. 3-0 pitch, and indeed, Inman taking all the way. That's a strike on the inside corner. So the Tribe takes 2 out of 3 from the Rangers. And of course, tomorrow they open up a series with the White Sox. That's a day-night doubleheader. 3-1 pitch, high and away for ball 4. So Marcus Inman draws a walk. Puts runners at first and third, still one down. We're in the top of the first. Elyria High has scored a run to open up the ball game. Here's Troy Gostchevsky, senior designated hitter, as he's hitting for the pitcher, Ben Siniger. Lorraine not using a designated hitter in this ball game. Gostchevsky, right-handed batter, takes a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Had a chance to see Troy's mom, Sharon Gostchevsky, before the ball game, and his sister, Danielle. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's a strike on the outside corner. Boy, perfect pitch right there by Marcel Geis. And the count is 0-2 on Troy Gostchevsky. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one's way up and away, and the count is now 1-2. Emerson at third, Inman at first, one down. We are in the top of the first inning. Elyria High with a 1-0 lead, looking to add to it. Geis working from the stretch. Here's into Colin Bryant, and now he'll throw to first. Diving back was Marcus Inman. That doubleheader with the White Sox tomorrow is a day-night doubleheader. And we'll have both of those games tomorrow right here on AM 930 WEOL. The pitch, a swing and a miss as Gostchevsky goes down on strikes. Big strikeout right there for Marcel Geis, and there are now 2 away here in the top of the first. And that'll bring on Brody Stewart, sophomore catcher.
Number 4, the catcher, Brody Stewart.
So Stewart steps in with runners at first and third, 2 down. I'll tell you what, if Lorraine can get out of this with only 1 run being scored, I think Brad Turnus would be pretty happy with that. Brody, a right-handed batter, takes a pitch up high for ball 1. Geis has a look over at third. Emerson coming down the line. The pitch inside, and the count is now 2-0 on sophomore catcher Brody Stewart. Next pitch upstairs, and the count has run to 3-0 on Brody Stewart. So after fanning Troy Gostchevsky, where it appeared Geis had kind of refound his command, he now falls behind Brody Stewart at 3-0. Brody, another right-handed batter in that Elyria lineup. Their first 6 hitters have all hit from the right side against the left-hander Marcel Geis. Stewart taking all the way, takes a fastball right down the middle, and the count is now 3-1. Emerson at third, Inman at first, 2 down, top of the first, 1-0 Elyria. The 3-1 pitch from Geis, ball 4, just high. Well, I mentioned that Geis coming into today's ball game had walked only 2. Well, he's walked 2 here in the top of the first. And that walk right there to Brody Stewart loads him up for Dan Ratliff.
Number 6, center fielder Dan Ratliff.
And now Ed Piazza is going to stroll down that third base line, and not sure what he wants to do. Well, we're going to have a runner. Okay. Not sure what Ed was doing as I was trying to see what he was motioning, and he finally said, hey, I want a runner. And I have no idea who that runner is. I have a roster for Elyria that doesn't have that number over at first base. But in the meantime, Dan Ratliff steps in and takes a strike at the letters. Emerson at third, Inman at second, Stewart at first. Bases full of Pioneers. There's a curveball and a beauty right on the outside corner. And quickly, Marcel Geis is ahead of Dan Ratliff at 0-2. And Ratliff, another right-handed batter for Elyria. The 0-2 pitch. There's a ball that's skied into left center field. Drifting over is Camacho, and Camacho puts it away. Gillespie close to running into him, but Camacho made the catch. So Ratliff flies out to end the inning. Elyria High scores 1, but they leave the bases loaded. Elyria High 1. Lorain coming to bat on the Colson and Colson Diamond Duel. It's on AM 930 WEOL, and it's on the World Wide Web at WEOL.com.
Oh my gosh, did you hear about Brendan and Ashley?
No, what happened?
They're dating.
Really? I thought he was dating Hannah.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh, did you hear about Brendan and Ashley?
No, what happened?
Sarah?
It's game 2 of a doubleheader here at the Pipe Yard this afternoon and tonight, as it's the 5th annual Rube Foster Night here in Lorain as they celebrate the Negro Leagues. Mamie Peanut Johnson was honored in between games. What a story hers is. And in our second contest, Elyria scores a run in the top of the first. They lead Lorain 1-0. Lorain's going to get their first look at Pioneer right-hander Ben Siniger on the hill for Elyria tonight. Here's the batting order for Lorain High. We gave it to you earlier, but if you weren't with us, leading off will be senior pitcher Marcel Geis, batting second. Senior third baseman Antoine Edwards. Hitting third, another senior, catcher Colin Bryant. The cleanup hitter Thomas Holloway, first baseman, he's a junior. Batting fifth, right fielder Desmond Geis. Desmond's a junior. Junior Ryan Osco will hit sixth. Second baseman tonight, Paul Camacho. Junior left fielder will bat seventh. Hitting eighth will be Adrian Calez, junior center fielder, and batting ninth will be junior Andre Morales. Andre is the shortstop. And here's Marcel Geis out of that left-handed batter's box, and the first pitch from Ben Siniger is a called strike. I was talking to Ben's dad, Joel Siniger, before the ball game. He was pretty keyed up that his son was getting the start tonight. There's a curveball, and Geis rips that one into right field, but moving over and then dropping the ball, Spencer Smith out in right, and Geis will be on at first. Boy, Spencer Smith, the right fielder, had that one right in his sights, and it popped in and out of his glove. So that's an error on Spencer Smith. Let's set that Elyria defense for you. Mike Perrin is in left, Dan Ratliff in center, and Spencer Smith over in right. We'll set the infield after the first pitch to Antoine Edwards, as Ben Siniger will now work from the stretch. And Edwards bounces one to short. It's picked there by Stolarski, throws to second for one, on to first, not in time. So Geis is out at second, and Edwards is on via the fielder's choice. So Edwards on at first with one down. Elyria around the infield, Emerson at third, Chris Emerson, Dustin Stolarski, who just made that assist, at short, Mike Izzarelli at second, Marquise Inman at first, Brody Stewart behind the plate. And again, it's Ben Siniger, right-hander, on the mound for the Pioneers. And his first pitch to Colin Bryant is inside for ball one. Colin, the senior catcher for the Titans, hitting .413 on the year. And now Colin asks for time and receives it from home plate umpire Nandi Cruz. Siniger working from the stretch. Edwards with a short lead at first. Bryant rips one in the hole between third and short, and it will scoot out into left field for a single. So Colin Bryant with a base hit to left sends Antoine Edwards down to second. Lorraine High, a pretty good hitting team, as Brad Turnus' club enters tonight with a .316 team batting average. They've got some pretty good numbers. Here's the cleanup hitter, Thomas Holloway, junior first baseman, hitting .341 on the year. Runners at first and second. Lorraine High trailing 1-0 as Elyria scored a run in the top of the first. And the first pitch to Holloway, a breaking pitch for a called strike. Siniger working from the stretch, looking into Brody Stewart. Right-hander against right-hander. Runners at first and second with one out. The pitch, a breaking pitch, and it gets by the catcher, Brody Stewart, and scampering over to third on the passed ball will be Antoine Edwards, as Colin Bryant hung tight at first. But Antoine Edwards saw that ball get behind Brody Stewart just long enough to allow him to move over to third. And so now it's runners at first and third for Lorraine. One down as they look to tie this ball game or perhaps take the lead. Siniger working from the stretch. The 1-1 pitch way outside as Brody Stewart had to reach out and grab that one. And the count is now 2-1 on Thomas Holloway. Tim Elkhorn with you from the Pipe Yard, powered by First Energy Solutions here in Lorraine. Second of our two games this afternoon and tonight. Rob Polinsky had the first one for you on AM 930. An outstanding ball game as Vermillion beat Clearview in the opener by a score of 4-3. Tell you what, good-sized crowd on hand here at Lorraine. A little bit chilly evening, but the sun is shining. There's a pitch up high. The count runs to 3-1 on Thomas Holloway. Holloway steps out and has a look down at Brad Turnus in that third base coaching box. Brad, the head coach of the Lorraine Titans. Again, Lorraine at 13-7, Elyria at 11-11. There's a pitch ripped to short, caught by Stolarski, and everybody has to stay right where they are. Dustin Stolarski had to move a couple of steps to his left. That ball was hit hard by Thomas Holloway, but Stolarski with the nice catch. And there are now two down for Lorraine. Desmond Geis will try to push across that tying run. Edwards at third, Colin Bryant at first. Geis steps in. Left-handed batter. There's a curveball from Ben Siniger that stays up high for ball one. We talked about earlier that Elyria and Lorraine are going to play each other in a tournament game on Wednesday. So these two teams will get to know each other pretty well this week. The 1-0 pitch to Geis, high and away. Count now 2-0 to Desmond Geis. Junior right fielder hitting .283 on the year. No home runs, 7 RBIs. Ben Siniger trying to work himself out of a jam right here. This inning should be over as Marcel Geis reached on an error to start the inning. There's a ball hit high in the air to short center field. Coming on is Ratliff, and he puts it away for the third out of the inning. And Siniger indeed wiggles his way out of the jam. So Lorraine strands two. One inning in the book. Elyria High leading Lorraine 1-0. Top of the second comes your way after this timeout on the Colson and Colson Diamond Duel. It's on AM 930 WEOL, and it's on the World Wide Web at WEOL.com.
We're asking folks about marriage.
You know, marriage makes me think of sports. You know, teamwork, dedication.
Okay, let's see what people say.
Let's say your marriage is a sport. What sport would it be?
Basketball. Surfing.
They have to be a team sport.
A lot of back and forth.
A lot of people watching.
So how many people are influenced by your marriage?
Hundreds. You really think about the ripple effect.
It's like a wave.
Want to improve your marriage? For ideas, go to foryourmarriage.org, a message from the Catholic Church.
It comes your way from the Pipe Yard, powered by First Energy Solutions here in the city of Lorain. 1-1 ball game, Elyria and Lorain. It's game number 2 of our doubleheader this afternoon and tonight right here on AM 930 WEOL. Pioneers leading the Titans 1-0 as we head to the top of the second inning. And for Elyria, it'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Dustin Stolarski will lead things off for the Pioneers, followed by Spencer Smith, and then the top of the order, and Mike Izzarelli. And we have with us here during the second inning, Tom Schmuel from First Energy, as we wanted to talk to Tom about the special things that are going on here in Lorain, and of course First Energy's involvement with the Pipe Yard as Dustin Stolarski takes a pitch inside for ball 1. Tom, good to have you here tonight.
Hey, it's great to be here, Tim. Beautiful afternoon.
Beautiful night for baseball as Stolarski bounces one to short, takes a big hop to Morales, throws across, and off the bag came Holloway, and on with the air is Dustin Stolarski, as we'll have to call that a throwing error on Andre Morales. He would have had plenty of time to get Dustin Stolarski, so E6 puts Dustin Stolarski on at first for Elyria High. And of course, I've been mentioning throughout the broadcast tonight, the Pipe Yard powered by First Energy Solutions. Tell our listeners a little bit about how First Energy Solutions got involved with the naming rights and with things here at the Pipe Yard.
Sure, we worked with the mayor of Lorain and a couple others in city council to try and fashion a deal to get a discounted electric rate for the water plant and city hall and a couple other big users. And they had a need to sort of spiff things up a little bit around here. And we were able to work a pretty long-term deal, about an 8-year deal, to serve those facilities and then also get some funding, about $500,000 over the next 8 years for improvements at the park.
Marcel Geis is ahead of Spencer Smith 0-2, and now Smith swings and misses at the next pitch for strike 3. But on that strikeout, down to second goes Dustin Stolarski with a stolen base. So Stolarski with the stolen base. Smith down on strikes. And so there is one out for Elyria here in the top of the second. Pioneers leading this one by a score of 1-0. Stolarski at second with one out, and Mike Izzarelli will now step in. And I'm sure for First Energy Solutions, it really just goes to show their commitment to the city of Lorain to step up and become involved with something like that here at the Pipe Yard.
Yeah, we got a lot of employees in the area. We've got the West Lorain plant, probably a couple of miles from here, power plant that's been there for a number of years. So yeah, big commitment to the city. A lot of a lot of power flows through the city. For the steel plants in the area, and so it's a big area for us.
Mike Izzarelli now in for Elyria High as he is ahead in the count at 2-0. Stolarski at second with one down. We're in the top of the second, and Izzarelli takes a strike at the corners. Count now 2-1 on the junior second baseman for Elyria. He led off the ball game with a single and came around to score on Chris Emerson's triple in the top of the first. And that is our only run right now. Izzarelli with a check swing, and the count now 3-1 on Mike Izzarelli. And I'm sure for people listening, Tom, they think First Energy Solutions, really all they do is just provide power so that I can turn my light on and turn my computer on. But there's so much more involved as far as what First Energy can do, correct?
Oh, yeah. And, so you look at we worked with a lot of communities in Northeast Ohio through the NOPEC agreement, of which Lorain is through, and we provide community aggregation programs that help all the residents of Lorain save money on their electric bill as well.
Count 3-2 on Izzarelli. Next pitch up high, and Mike Izzarelli draws the walk.
And when we can get involved in projects like this, it's it's neat. The field looks just absolutely beautiful, and
Isn't this a great complex?
It's phenomenal for for the kids to get a chance to play in a place like this. It wasn't like this when I was in high school baseball, but it's nice to see the lights on tonight, but use a little more of that power. But I guess they'll come on a little bit later, huh?
I think at some point, if this game is done by the time the sun sets, we will have a rapid-fire baseball game. No doubt about that. I think we'll see the lights on here at the Pipe Yard. Here's Chris Emerson now for Elyria. Runners at first and second One down. We are in the top of the second. Elyria High leading Lorraine by a score of 1-0, and it was Emerson that delivered the RBI triple his first time up. There's a bouncing ball to second. Flip the second for one on the first. Not in time. Boy, it was close at first, but Emerson motoring down that line was able to beat it out. They did force Izzarelli at second, so there are now 2 down. But that was a nice play.
Sure was. Yeah.
By Ryan Osco, the second baseman for Lorraine High. He got a nice flip over to Morales, and Morales with a strong throw, but he wasn't quite able to get Emerson. And on the play, Dustin Stolarski moves over to third. So runners at first and third, 2 down though, and Illyria's number 3 hitter, Mike Perrin, will step in. Can you tell us about some of the things planned for the Pipe Yard?
I know we've got some signage coming up for the sponsorship, and we're working with the team at the city to, continue, continued endorsement and sponsorship. So, it's just a great complex, and really looking forward to the 8-year relationship. So
Marcel Geis behind Mike Perrin, 1-0. Top of the second, 1-0 Elyria High. The 1-0 pitch, that one skied into foul territory down the right field line, and it will drop in foul territory in the bullpen. Tell you what, for Lorraine High, Thomas Holloway, the first baseman, Ryan Osco, the second baseman, Desmond Geis, the right fielder, all giving chase, and it landed in between all 3 of them in that right field bullpen.
If I can, I'd like to give a shout out to my son, Kenny Schmuel. He's listening at home, I think.
We hope.
We hope, yeah. I'm not sure he could find AM on his radio. Maybe he can.
Easy there, Tom. Easy. The count is 1-1 to Mike Perrin.
Well, they all listen to iPods these days. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking with Tom Schmuel from First Energy Solutions. Pitch is outside. Down to second on the stolen base went Chris Emerson, as Colin Bryant, Lorraine High's catcher, did not throw through. In fact, he faked the throw down to third, hoping to catch Dustin Stolarski off the bag. So now the force is off for that Lorraine High infield. Count 2-1 on Mike Perrin. The line and the pitch from Geis. There's a ball hit into left center field. Drifting over and making the catch is Adrian Calez to retire the side. So Elyria High puts a couple of runners on, but they strand them both. An inning and a half complete. Elyria leading Lorraine by a score of 1-0. Can you stay with us another half inning?
Sure.
All right, Tom Schmuel from First Energy Solutions will stay with us for another half inning. 1-0 Elyria as we head to the bottom of the second on the Colson & Colson Diamond Duel. It's on WEOL, and it's streaming live on the web. Maybe that's where Tom's son's listening, at WEOL.com.
There you go.
The strongest families are built one moment at a time. For more ways to make every day count, visit facebook.com/makeeverydaycount.
So Marcel Geis was able to work himself out of that jam in the top of the second inning. Elyria still leading Lorraine by a score of 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the second on a sunny but cool night here in the city of Lorraine, as we come your way live from the Pipe Yard, powered by First Energy Solutions. And Tom Schmuel from First Energy Solutions joining us here on the broadcast for the second inning. And Tom, we were talking in between innings. It's an amazing number, the amount of people, the amount of customers that First Energy provides power to, energy to.
Yeah, the market's really taken off. A lot of people out shopping for energy. We now serve nearly 2 million customers from New Jersey all the way to Illinois, mostly here in Ohio, and specifically here in Northeast Ohio. But it's been a great run the last few years as we've grown and the markets have opened up.
Ryan Osco leading things off for Lorraine here in the bottom of the second. Ryan, the number 6 hitter in the Titan lineups, and he smokes one down the left field line, giving chase, and making the running catch is Mike Perrin, just in fair territory. Nice catch out there by Mike Perrin left fielder for the Pioneers, as he had to get on his horse and ride right there.
He covered a lot of ground, didn't he?
He sure did. Well, you know your baseball. You want to do color commentary with me here tonight? You can sit for the next 6 innings if you want.
I'm actually, I'm a huge baseball fan. In fact, my son Kenny and I are leaving Tuesday morning for our annual baseball trip. But this year we're going up to Chicago, Milwaukee, and Minneapolis.
No kidding.
Yeah. We're going to Cubs first night, Brewers on Wednesday, Twins on Thursday, and then back to see the Sox in Chicago on Friday. So.
Oh, that's a great
And
trip.
we start tomorrow night with the Indians over at Progressive Field. So.
Here's Paul Camacho for Lorraine High, and after taking a couple of pitches inside, Ben Siniger then hits the outside corner for Elyria. The count is now 2-1 on Paul Camacho. One down, bottom of the second, and Camacho slices that one foul behind the third base dugout. Not a play, evens up the count at 2-2. One down, nobody on. Lorraine High and Elyria High. 1-0 ball game. Elyria with a run in the top of the first as Mike Izzarelli led off the contest with a single. Chris Emerson tripled him home. There's a high fly ball to center field. Ratliff doesn't have to move too much, circles under it and puts it away for out number 2. Again, we're talking with Tom Schmuel from First Energy Solutions as we are here at the Pipe Yard, powered by First Energy Solutions, an 8-year agreement. So that's quite the commitment from First Energy here at the Pipe Yard.
Yeah, it is. And, one of the things that they were most interested in was whether, when they could put the new sign up, First Energy Field or whatever it might be called. And we, of course, had worked with U.S. Steel pretty closely over the years and really liked the name Pipe Yard. And
Calez flies one to right, running in and not able to get it was Spencer Smith. It deflects off his glove. Heading down to second is Calez. He's going to turn and go for 3. The throw, the slide, the tag. He's out at third. So Calez gunned down at third. Smith, after not being able to make the catch, was able to get up, grab that ball, fire it in, and on the putout, 9-6-5, and Calez is retired. Wow, what a play. As Smith, for the second time tonight, had one go off his glove. But again, credit to Spencer Smith out there in right as he was able to get back up, go get the ball, and then fire it in, and they got Calez over at third. Tom, any final thoughts on First Energy and some of the things happening here in Lorraine or at the Pipe Yard?
Yeah, I'm coming back, that's for sure. It's a beautiful place. And good quality baseball tonight. The whole team came out to congratulate him there. That was quite a play.
That was a good play.
Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate you stopping by. And not only did First Energy get on board with the city of Lorraine, obviously with the 8-year commitment here at the Pipe Yard, but sponsoring the game tonight on AM 930 WEOL. We appreciate that very, very much as well. So go grab a hot dog and a Coke and enjoy the rest of the game.
Thanks, Tim. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate you stopping by. Thomas Schmuel from First Energy Solutions joining us here in the booth. 2 innings in the book. Elyria High on top of Lorraine, 1-0, top of the third after this on the Colson & Colson Diamond Duel.
One of my biggest passions in life is animals. That's why I've worked with Morris Animal Foundation for over 40 years. Morris Animal Foundation is a world leader in helping animals live longer, healthier lives. You can too. Just show your support at morrisanimalfoundation.org.
To help cats, dogs, horses, and wildlife live healthier lives, visit morrisanimalfoundation.org, where we are advancing science that will create a healthier tomorrow for animals.
Welcome back to the Pipe Yard, powered by First Energy Solutions. Tim Elkhorn with you. Boy, what a play to close out the bottom of the second. Now we head to the top of the third. Marcus Inman leading off for Elyria High. Inman, the freshman first baseman, facing left-hander Marcel Geis. Inman takes a fastball up high, and the count is now 1-1. Again, a huge thank you to Tom Schmuel from First Energy Solutions for joining us here in the booth for the second inning. And of course, First Energy Solutions with the presenting sponsorship, I guess you could call it that, here at the Pipe Yard. Strike 3 called on Inman. Marcus Inman goes down on strikes. And for Geis, that is his third strikeout. And they got on board with sponsoring tonight's games on WEOL as well. So we appreciate that. A huge thank you to First Energy Solutions. One down for Elyria, top of the third inning. 1-0 Pioneers. And Troy Goszczewski steps in. Check swing, and Nandi Cruz says, let's check with Sanford Washington. Sanford said, nope, he didn't swing. Count 1-0 on Troy. He struck out swinging his first time up. Top of the third. Good ball game so far. Elyria leading Lorraine by a score of 1-0. Geis's next pitch, low and inside. The count 2-0 on Troy Goszczewski. Two teams play again Wednesday in tournament play, so a lot more will be on the line. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Goszczewski takes a strike. And I say that somewhat facetiously because when it's Elyria-Lorraine, there's always a lot on the line. It could be a preseason game, and there's a lot on the line. Goszczewski rips that one in the left, and it goes over the head of Paul Camacho. Goszczewski rounding first, heads to second. He's being waved to third. Here comes the throw. It's offline, and Goszczewski slides in with a head-first slide, and a triple for Troy Goszczewski. Tell you what, once that ball got over the head of Paul Camacho, Goszczewski, once he rounded first, was looking at Eddie Piazza, the head coach for Elyria, in that third base box. And Eddie was waving him the entire way. He was about 15 feet away from second base, and Eddie was saying, get here, get here. So Troy Goszczewski with a one-out triple here in the third for the Pioneers, and that'll bring on sophomore catcher Brody Stewart. 1-0 Elyria. Geis from the full windup. And there's a line shot to third, but Goszczewski just got back to the bag. Antoine Edwards made the catch. Boy, that ball was smoked by Brody Stewart. But Antoine Edwards with the nice catch. And Goszczewski actually had come off the bag, but not far enough for Antoine Edwards to double him up. So there are now two down for Elyria here in the top of inning number 3, and that'll bring on Dan Ratliff. Ratliff flew out to left his first time up, and he takes a beautiful breaking ball for strike one. Wow, what a hook right there from Marcel Geis. The 0-1 pitch, slow roller up the third base line, and it goes foul just as it got to the bag. Well, Marcel Geis certainly has labored through this ball game. He faced 7 batters in the top of the first, faced 5 more in the top of the second, and now surrenders a triple here in the third, but has managed to work himself out of some jams. The 0-2 pitch, there's a bouncing ball to short, takes a bad hop on Morales, no play, scoring is Goszczewski. On with the infield hit is Dan Ratliff, and the Pioneers lead it by a score of 2-0. Boy, that was a tough break for Andre Morales. That ball just ate him up. And an infield hit for Dan Ratliff gives Elyria a 2-0 advantage. I mean, I'm not the official scorer, but there's no way that's an error. That ball just took a wicked hop right into the chest of Andre Morales. And of course, Goszczewski was running with 2 outs on the crack of the bat, so he scored easily. 2-0 Elyria. Ratliff on at first, 2 down. And here's Dustin Stolarski. Of course, Dustin, a 3-sport athlete at Elyria High. We saw him on the football field back in the fall for Kevin Fell as he was the quarterback. So plenty of time for Brett Larrick on the basketball hardwood as well. Stolarski reached on an air his first time up. Senior shortstop in the number 8 hole tonight. Geis now working from the stretch. Stolarski knocks that one foul off to the right. Elyria High with a all right-handed lineup tonight. Geis with a high throw to first. Boy, Holloway had to reach up and grab that one. 0-1 the count on Dustin Stolarski. Tim Alcorn with you from the Pipe Yard. Powered by First Energy Solutions here in Lorain. 2-0 Elyria. 2 down for the Pioneers here in the top of the third. Runner at first. Elyria scored a run in the first. A single by Mike Izzarelli. And then a triple by Chris Emerson drove Izzarelli home. And there's a single into right field, and it goes under the glove of Desmond Geis. Rounding third is Ratliff, and he will come around to score. And down to second goes Stolarski, and it is now a 3-0 Pioneer lead. So Stolarski with the single, and then down to second on the air by Desmond Geis. So no RBI on the play. And Ratliff, again, Elyria with runners moving with 2 down. They're off at the crack of the bat. And he comes all the way around to score. And it's a 3-0 Pioneer advantage. Boy, we've seen some sloppy defense here tonight. Here's Spencer Smith, the number 9 hitter for Elyria. And he skies one into center field, drifting to his right, and making the catch is Adrian Velez. But Elyria High scores 2 more runs here in the top of the third. Pioneers up 3-0 as we head to the home half of the third on the Colson & Colson Diamond Duel. It's on WEOL. And it's on the World Wide Web at WEOL.com.
I believe that home is where your pet is. That loving an animal means never giving up on them, never letting them go.
I believe that when you adopt an animal from a shelter, you're saving not only one, but many lives.
And that when you spay or neuter your dogs and cats, you help decrease the number of homeless animals.
That it's time we do all we can to save the lives of homeless animals who are counting on us, because every dog and cat deserves a place to call home.
I believe that I found my best friend in a shelter, and that you can too.
We believe that together with Best Friends Animal Society,
we can bring about a time when there are no more homeless pets.
please visit our website at ambassadors.bestfriends.org to find out more.
And it comes your way from the Pipe Yard, powered by First Energy Solutions here in Lorain. Tim Alcorn with you, and not only are we live on AM 930, WEOL, and of course on the World Wide Web at WEOL.com. Tonight we're thrilled to have, picking up our audio feed, WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television, led by the incomparable Joe Bach, B-O-C-K, here tonight with the Lorain Video Club. How cool is that? Elyria High with a 3-0 lead. I'm sure that Lorain Video Club rooting for a Lorain Titan comeback. Maybe it can start here in the bottom of the third as Andre Morales will lead things off, and then back to the top of the order with Marcel Geis and Antoine Edwards. Facing Elyria right-hander Ben Siniger. Ben getting his first start of the year. He's 1-0 on the season, but has been coming out of that Elyria bullpen. He falls behind Andre Morales at 2-0. Morales hitting .216 on the year, no home runs, 6 RBIs. Shows bunt, pulls the bat back, and takes a called strike. You know, I met one of those Lorain Video Club members before the ball game, Zach Truman. Boy, here's a guy with high hopes and high expectations. Says he wants to work for ESPN someday. There's a ball foul down the first base line. Inman goes into foul territory and puts it away for out number 1. So freshman Marcus Inman drifts into foul territory and makes the catch to retire Morales. 1 up, 1 down for Lorain here in the home half of the third. Back to the top of the order we go. Marcel Geis, who reached on an error by Spencer Smith his first time up, will step in. And Siniger has pitched well. And there's a strike on the outside corner from Ben Siniger. But Zach Truman from the Lorain Video Club, he's here tonight taking pictures. He's working camera. Who knows? He may do some play-by-play on WEOL. There's a high fly into short left field, and coming on is the left fielder Mike Perrin as he called off shortstop Dustin Stolarski. And quickly there are 2 down for Lorain here in the bottom of the third. 3-0 Pioneers. Antoine Edwards will now try to get things going for the Titans. But as always, thrilled to have WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools, picking up our audio. Hardest working guy in show business next to James Brown. Joe Bach. B-O-C-K. Remember the name. He's a legendary figure here in Lorain. When it's on WLCS TV 20, Joe Bach's behind the camera. There's a curveball and a beauty by Siniger. Evens up the count at 1-1 on Antoine Edwards. Antoine reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. Boy, how about this batting average? .450. And he has Lorain High's only home run this year. They've had one, and it came off the bat of Antoine Edwards. He also has 6 doubles and 3 triples. He's got some pop, and he shows it right there as he whips one into right center field for a base hit. So Antoine Edwards with a 2-out single for Lorain High here in the bottom of the third. Again, hats off to the fans that have come out here tonight. It's a nice night for baseball, although it is chilly. We're not too far from the shores of Lake Erie here at the Pipe Yard. A lot of folks have the hoodies on or the coats. Even saw a few blankets on my way in. Here's Colin Bryant for Lorain High, and Bryant takes a strike on the outside corner. Lorain High looking for a rally, trailing this one 3-0. Ben Siniger working from the stretch with 2 down, and Edwards at first. And now Siniger will step off the rubber. I should have looked at my box score from last year. I apologize, but this game last year was a marathon affair as the next one skips in to Brody Stewart. And the count on Colin Bryant evens up at 1-1. But I want to say that last year's game between Elyria and Lorain, snap throw to first, diving back was Antoine Edwards. It went 9 or 10 innings, and it was a high-scoring game. And this field was a swamp. But they played through some rain and some downpours. They wanted to get the game in. Guys were splashing around out there. It was like a game of water polo in 2011. But a much, much nicer night here tonight. 1-1 pitch. Bouncing ball to Stolarski at short. Scoops it, throws it in time to retire Colin Bryant. And that'll do it for Lorain here in the home half of the third. So the Titans get the single from Edwards, but they strand him at first. 3 complete. Elyria leading Lorain by a score of 3-0. We're coming back to the Pipe Yard, powered by First Energy Solutions. After this, on the Colson & Colson Diamond Duel. It's on WEOL, and it's on the web at WEOL.com.
With video games, I'm always choosing between what my kids want and what I think is best for them. How about this one? Which is why I love these new rating summaries. They let me know exactly what's in the game. Players shoot lasers from an arm cannon. Robot enemies explode and limbs fly off.
Maybe that other one's better.
Yeah. Get your free game rating summary today, and with it, the world's most powerful weapon, knowledge.
Here comes to you. AM 930 WEOL, and of course on the web at WEOL.com. That live stream brought to you by Luxury Heating and Air Conditioning. Total indoor air quality since 1947. Thanks, Luxury, for the luxury of hearing our games live online on the website at WEOL.com. Well, did I not tell you that Joe Bach, B-O-C-K, from WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television, was the hardest working guy in show business. In between innings, he did some research for me. He went back to that 2011 game between Elyria and Lorain here at the Rube Foster night in Lorain, as stepping in for Elyria and swinging at the first pitch is Mike Izzarelli. Skies it high to center field, where Adrian Calez puts it away for the first out here in the top of the fourth. But Joe Bach from WLCS TV 20, again, they're tied into our audio feed tonight. We appreciate that. Telling me that last year's game between Elyria and Lorain, and again, sorry about that I didn't look it up in my own box score, but I knew Joe would know. Elyria won it 11-8 in 9 innings. It was a high-scoring game. It went extra innings. I think we all got home on Monday morning about 8 o'clock as those guys splashed around out there for 9 innings. It was a fun night, though. Here's Emerson for Elyria. He spanks one down the right field line, but foul. Chris Emerson already with his 3rd plate appearance. He had an RBI triple his first time up, delivered Mike Izzarelli with the game's first run, and then reached on a fielder's choice in the second. So Lorain High looking for a little revenge here tonight as they lost that game last year, 11-8 in 9 innings. Marcel Geis rocks and throws. There's a high chopper to third, fielded there by Edwards, throws across. Oh, a nice scoop by Holloway at first for the putout. Antone Edwards gunned that one over. It was a bit low, but what a play by Holloway to dig it out. And for Elyria, 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 4th. 3-0 Pioneers. Elyria with a run in the top of the 1st and then 2 more in the top of the 3rd. Left-hander Marcel Geis on the hill for Lorain High. Geis coming in at 1-1 with a 2.55 ERA. Here's Mike Perrin for Elyria. Steps in with 2 down and nobody on. And he skies that one to center field. Calez moves over to his right and makes the putout. And Marcel Geis breezes through the top of the 4th. 3 up, 3 down. 3.5 innings in the book. Elyria High leading Lorain 3-0. We head to the home half of the 4th following this timeout. On the Colson and Colson Diamond Duel. It's on WEOL and it's on the web. WEOL.com.
Hi, I'm Tinsel Corey from the Twilight Saga. Want to play? If you had a tough day, try playing music. It's a great way to wind down, relieve stress, and bring a smile back to your face. Not to mention, it's a lot of fun. Learn how to get started at wannaplaymusic.com.
The Beatles in the background. Boy, you gotta like that. This is off their very first album, Meet the Beatles. Oh, yeah, good tune. John Lennon on lead vocal there. 3-0, Elyria High leading Lorain as we head to the home half of the 4th. Of course, this is our regular season finale as far as the Colson and Colson Diamond Duels are concerned, but rest be assured, we will have plenty of postseason baseball and softball for you here on AM 930 WEOL, and of course on the World Wide Web at WEOL.com. We've got the brackets hung up. And once teams start moving through, we'll have plenty of district, regional, and let's hope state baseball and softball, as it's hard to believe tournament time has arrived. So tonight is the regular season finale, but we'll have plenty of more baseball and softball for you on AM 930 WEOL as tournament play gets underway. And as we said, Elyria and Lorain actually play a tournament baseball game this Wednesday. That game will be at Lorain High. So Elyria and Lorain will get 2 days to get ready for their tournament contest on Wednesday. For Lorain High, here in the home half of the 4th, it'll be Thomas Holloway, Desmond Geis, and Ryan Osco facing Ben Siniger for Elyria, making his first start of the year. He has been impressive as he has tossed 3 shutout innings. Siniger's first pitch to Thomas Holloway down low for ball 1. Next pitch up high for ball 2. In the defense behind Ben Siniger. In the outfield, Mike Perrin in left, Dan Ratliff in center, Spencer Smith in right. The 2-0 pitch, that one's fouled off to the right. The infield, Chris Emerson at third, Dustin Stolarski at short, Mike Izzarelli at second, Marcus Inman at first, and Brody Stewart behind the plate. Ben Siniger out on that hill doing a very nice job. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Holloway. Upstairs, count now 3-1 on Thomas Holloway. He lined out to shortstop Dustin Stolarski, his first time up. We are live from the Pipe Yard on AM 930 WEOL. 3-1 pitch, down low, ball 4. So Ben Siniger, let me check my score sheet here. Yep, that's his first walk given up. Thomas Holloway on with a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 4th.
Number 2, Desmond Geis.
So glad you've dialed in on AM 930. And again, for you folks listening in the city of Lorain tonight, you'll be able to watch this game at some point in the very near future on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television. Joe Bach here, along with members of the Lorain Video Club. Joe down in the stands to my left. Siniger working from the stretch as the curveball floats outside to Desmond Geis for ball one. Got a runner at first now for Holloway. I believe it was Heisel that came in the contest. Let's see. Yep, Heisel is running for Holloway. Desmond Geis flew out to center fielder Dan Ratliff his first time up. Junior right fielder for Lorain hitting .283 coming into tonight, left-handed batter. He bounces that one off the glove of Siniger, stepped on or picked up by Stolarski, steps on the bag for one, throws to first for the double play. So that ball actually hit Ben Siniger, so it'll be 1-6-3 on the twin killing. But what a play by Dustin Stolarski, as he was very alert to see which way that ball ricocheted off of Ben Siniger. 1-6-3 on the twin killing. And for Lorain, there are now 2 down, nobody on. And Siniger back to that full windup. There's a bouncing ball to Stolarski, fielded on 2 hops, throws across in time. And that'll do it for Lorain here in the home half of the 4th. So they get the leadoff walk from Holloway, but the pinch runner along with Geis wiped out on the double play, and then Osco bounces out, and we have played 4. 3-0 Elyria as we head to the top of the 5th. It's the Colson and Colson Diamond Duel. It's on WEOL and it's on the web. Glad you've dialed in via the internet at WEOL.com.
It is important for young people to have a mentor in their life.
I would definitely say that I have had an impact on his life and he's had an impact on my life.
One of the most important lessons that I've learned from Charlie is to make better decisions and take responsibility for what you're going to do.
Think about what you would be today if people didn't go a step out of their way to help you out. And that's really what it's all about.
So get involved and do your part. Invest in the future. Mentor a child.
Elyria High with a 3-0 lead over Lorain High as we head to the top of the 5th here at the Pipe Yard. Left-hander Marcel Geis delivers the inning's first pitch, lined out to center field, but Adrian Calez moves a couple of steps to his right and makes the putout for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out as freshman Marcus Inman lines out to Calez. Boy, Calez has been busy out there as he made a putout in the 2nd, a putout in the 3rd, 2 more in the 4th, and now 1 here in the 5th. So here's Troy Goschewski stepping in. Well, he had a big triple his last time up and came in to score on an RBI single by Dan Ratliff. Goschewski takes one down low for ball 1. Marcel Geis on the hill for Lorain High. The 1-0 pitch. That ball fouled to the screen behind home plate. Evens up the count at 1-1. Troy, the senior designated hitter for Elyria tonight. He's batting for the pitcher, Ben Siniger. Lorain High opting not to utilize the DH tonight. All of their field position guys are hitting in the batting order for Brad Turnus. 3-0 ball game. Elyria with a run in the top of the 1st. Pioneers plated 2 more in the top of the 3rd. The 1-1 pitch to Troy Goschewski. It's a curveball that stays outside. The count now 2-1 on Troy. Vermillion won the opener here today. That was a good ball game. Hope you had a chance to hear Rob Polinsky call that one. 4-3. Sailors beat the Clippers. There's a bouncing ball up the middle past Geis. Fielded by the shortstop. Throw to first, but offline. And it goes to the fence behind first base. And so Troy Goschewski is awarded second. All right. Infield hit in an error. You think Troy would have beat it out? We all just talk amongst ourselves up here. So we're going to give Troy Goschewski the infield single. But then he gets the second base on the throwing error by shortstop Andre Morales. And I think we're going to have a runner for Troy Goschewski. That's exactly what we're going to have. Again, each head coach, Eddie Piazza of Elyria and Brad Turnus of Lorraine, brought some guys that perhaps aren't on the roster. Trying to see who just came in for Troy Goschewski. We'll check it in a moment. In the meantime, Brody Stewart steps into that batter's box and takes a curveball low and inside for ball one. So Elyria with a runner at second, one down, top of the fifth inning. Pioneers up by a score of 3-0. Geiss's next pitch is a fastball right down the pipe, evens up the count at 1-1. Tim Elkhorn with you. Of course, Indians baseball tomorrow right here on WEOL. Day-night doubleheader as Chicago comes into town. There's a curveball that floats outside. The count now 2-1 on Brody Stewart. Brody 0 for 1 with a walk. Drew that bases on balls back in the first and then lined out to Anton Edwards at third. 2-1 pitch from Geiss. That's a fastball at the letters. Evens up the count at 2-2. But a day-night doubleheader for the Tribe and the White Sox tomorrow. That first game will come your way at 12:37 right here on WEOL. That's the day game. And then the night game, the normal 7:05 first pitch. Boy, strike 3 called on Brody Stewart. Nandi Cruz, what did you see right there? Fourth strikeout for Marcel Geiss. I'm sure if Nani watches this game on WLCS TV 20, Lorraine City Schools television, he's going to say, Tim, what are you questioning that for? It was only 3 inches off the black on the outside corner. There's a pitch high and away to Dan Ratliff for ball one. Nani's a lot closer than I am. 2 down for Elyria, runner at second. Pioneers up 3-0. We're in the top of the fifth inning. 5th annual Rube Foster night here in Lorraine. Boy, what a great celebration in between games. Geiss's next pitch, that one's upstairs. And the count 1-1 on Dan Ratliff. Ratliff 1 for 2, flew out to left his first time up, had an RBI single in the third.
Okay, we'll change after this.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down, runner at second. Geiss, the stretch, the pitch, fastball up high, and the count is now 2-1 on Dan Ratliff. We've talked about the fact that Elyria and Lorraine will play each other on Wednesday in a tournament game at Lorraine. The winner of that one will get the winner of Midview and Avon Lake. The Middies and the Shoremen also playing on Wednesday. Boy, there's another called strike from Nandi Cruz. Let's see, it's 8 o'clock. I think Nandi has a 9 o'clock dinner date somewhere because that strike zone has suddenly widened. Nandi says, man, I'm hungry. Here's the 2-2 pitch way outside. Actually, it's 3-2 pitch. That's ball 4 to Dan Ratliff. So the walk given up by Marcel Geiss. We talked earlier that Marcel coming into tonight only 2 walks. But he's had a few here this evening. Here's the number 8 hitter in the Elyria lineup, Dustin Stolarski. Stolarski reached on an air and singled. Steps in with runners at first and second. 2 down. Elyria looking to add to their 3-0 lead, and Stolarski takes a pitch up high for ball 1. So you've got 4 Lorain County teams going at it on Wednesday with Elyria, Lorraine, and Midview Avon Lake, and the 2 winners will then meet later on. Stolarski fouls that one down the right field line. Count 1-1 on Dustin. Still trying to pick up the number of that runner out there at second base. And I don't have that on my roster, at least if I'm reading that number correctly. Marcel Geiss for Lorraine High. From the stretch, the 1-1 pitch, curveball. That's a You heard the Elyria fans. Okay, folks, I'm just telling you. And the count now 1-2 on Dustin Stolarski. And the 1-2 pitch. There's a bouncing ball in the hole in the right field. That'll be a base hit. Up with the ball is Geiss to throw in. The tag. And out at the plate is the runner for Elyria High. Oh, what a throw by by Desmond Geis to get the runner at home, and that will end the inning. What a great play by Desmond Geis, and a great play by Colin Bryant to hold on to the ball. Illyria's lead is still 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th on the Colson & Colson Diamond Duel. It's on WEOL, and it's on the World Wide Web at WEOL.com.
I'm Gary Sinise. I've had the great privilege of meeting and working with many of our country's heroes, our veterans, and heard their stories. But for the 58,272 names on the Vietnam Wall, their stories will never be shared. Help us change that. The Education Center at the Wall will put faces to the names, displaying photos, letters, and mementos of those who served, so their stories will never be forgotten. Visit buildthecenter.org and help us build it.
Well, I'll tell you what, the fans still buzzing here at the Pipe Yard. Powered by First Energy Solutions. What a throw by Desmond Geis, and what a block of the plate by Colin Bryant to close out the top of the 5th. So Illyria's lead stays at 3-0. And leading off for Lorain here in the bottom of the 5th is Paul Camacho. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Camacho, Adrian Calez, and Andre Morales against right-hander Ben Siniger for Illyria. Boy, what a job by Siniger. And now Nandi Cruz is looking into that Lorain dugout. I think Illyria is saying we need a trainer. Maybe that's what it's about, because Eddie Piazza had come out of the Illyria dugout. And so Nandi Cruz then said, what's going on? And I think they needed a trainer to come across the field and tend to somebody in that Illyria dugout. In the meantime, the 1-0 pitch to Paul Camacho is upstairs, and the count 2-0 on Paul Camacho. Tim Alcorn with you on AM 930 WEOL. Siniger's next pitch inside as it got by Brody Stewart, and the count is now 3-0 on Paul Camacho. And we'll keep an eye on Siniger. We've talked, this is his first start of the year. He's 1-0 on the year, but he has been working out of the bullpen, so he's now into the 5th inning, and there's a pitch outside for ball 4. So Camacho draws the leadoff walk, and I'm sure Eddie Piazza is going to keep a very close eye on Ben Siniger as well. Glad to have WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television, tied into our audio feed tonight. Joe Bach working the camera along with members of the Lorain Video Club. There's a ball hit into left field coming on, and not able to get it is Mike Perrin. It deflects off of him. Perrin may be hurt. That ball ricocheted into the bullpen down the left field line. Throw into third, not in time. And down to second goes Adrian Calez with a double, and Perrin still hasn't gotten up. Perrin made a diving attempt, and he wasn't able to get there. And that ball ricocheted off of Perrin all the way into the bullpen in the left field area. And Perrin never got up, and he is still down. And a whole host of Illyria players, well, basically the entire Illyria team defensively, has gone out to check on the junior left fielder for Illyria High. So Lorain High now with a threat, as Camacho led off the inning with a walk, and Adrian Calez with a sinking liner out to left. Perrin came charging in. He made a sliding slash diving attempt. The ball ricocheted off of him, and Mike was hurt on the play. So Lorain High will have runners at second and third, as now both of the umpires have gone out to check on Mike Perrin as well. Home plate umpire Nandi Cruz and base umpire Sanford Washington. See, a couple of the Illyria players are now walking back to the infield. Here comes catcher Brody Stewart. So we will wait and see as far as what the situation is with Mike Perrin out there in left for Illyria. Pioneers lead this one 3-0. We're in the bottom of the 5th here at the Pipe Yard in Lorain. Elyria with a run in the top of the 1st inning. Mike Izzarelli led off the ball game with a single, and the very next batter, Chris Emerson, then tripled him home. And Elyria High, with the first run of the contest, had that 1-0 lead. They would add 2 more runs in the 3rd. As Perrin is getting up, and he's going to stay in there. So Mike Perrin looks like he's going to stay in the ball game. I'm not sure if he just cramped up. May have felt something pull. Believe me, I'm not here to guess. And he's going to take a little jog out there, make sure he's all right, but looks like Mike Perrin's going to be good to go. But Elyria with 2 more runs in the 3rd. A 1-out triple by Troy Goszczewski. An RBI single by Dan Ratliff. And then Ratliff scored on a hit by Dustin Stolarski.
At the plate for the Titans, number 23, shortstop Andre Morales.
So here comes Andre Morales, the number 9 hitter in the Lorain lineup. A threat for the Titans here in the home half of the 5th. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, and nobody out. And Siniger's first pitch bounces into Brody Stewart for ball 1. Elyria does have activity down in the bullpen. Again, Siniger may be running out of gas, his first start of the year. There's a ball smoked into center field. That'll be a base hit. Ratliff scoops it up, throw in, and holding at 3rd. Now down to 2nd to throw the tag. Out at 2nd base is Morales, as Calez had to stay at 3rd. So Morales delivers the RBI single, scoring Camacho to make it 3-1. But Morales tried to go down to 2nd when the throw came into home, and he was gunned down at 2nd place. What a throw by Brody Stewart. And that's going to end the evening for Ben Siniger. But I'll tell you what, he gets a great round of applause from the Elyria fans, and deservedly so. Ben Siniger with a terrific outing in his first start for Elyria this year. So the Pioneers are bringing on a new pitcher. We'll tell you who he is and a little bit about him after this timeout on the Colson & Colson Diamond Duel. It's on WEOL, and it's on the World Wide Web at WEOL.com. And we've got a good one cooking here at the Pipe Yard, powered by First Energy Solutions. Lorain has cut the Elyria lead to 3-1. And on in relief now for the Pioneers is Justin Victor. So Justin Victor on the pitch for Elyria, left-hander, as he is on in relief of Ben Siniger. Justin Victor, only a sophomore, and he'll have his work cut out for him as he will face Marcel Geis. But boy, what a performance by Ben Siniger in his first start of the year for Elyria High. As Siniger is still responsible for Adrian Calez over at 3rd base. And I guess the good news is for Ben Siniger, he can win this game, he cannot lose it. And I guess that's appropriate because he really pitched well. And so now it'll be up to sophomore Justin Victor to hold the lead for Elyria High. But again, Lorain High still with the threat here in the 5th, although having Morales thrown out at 2nd base certainly didn't help their cause. But they are back to the top of the order with Marcel Geis. So Justin Victor completing his warm-up pitches. Glad you've dialed in on AM 930 WEOL or perhaps on the web at WEOL.com. That live stream brought to you by Luxury Heating and Air Conditioning. Total indoor air quality since 1947. Thanks, Luxury, for the luxury of hearing our games live on the World Wide Web at WEOL.com. So Justin Victor working from the stretch. The pitch to Geis is inside for ball one. Calez is over at third, one out for Lorain. They've scored their first run to make it a 3-1 ball game. Justin Victor looking in at Brody Stewart. The 1-0 pitch down low. Nice stop by Brody Stewart. And the count is now 2-0 on Marcel Geis. Geis reached on an error by right fielder Spencer Smith his first time up and then flew out to left in his second at bat. The pitch down low, another nice stop by Brody Stewart. And the count now 3-0 on Marcel Geis. We are in the home half of the fifth, 3-1 Elyria. Left-hander against left-hander right here. Justin Victor, the southpaw. The pitch outside, ball four. So Marcel Geis draws the walk. And now the wheels will be turning in each dugout. Will Brad Turnus send Marcel Geis to try to get him into scoring position? He represents the game tying run. Will Ed Piazza have Brody Stewart throw through if Marcel Geis does indeed run? As Antone Edwards will now step in for Lorain High. Antone hitting .450. He's reached base twice tonight. In the first on a fielder's choice, and he singled in the third. Justin Victor working from the stretch, has a look at Geis at first. The pitch, that one got by Stewart, right through the legs, into score. Comes Calez to make it 3-2, and down to second on the wild pitch goes Marcel Geis. Well, Brody Stewart had made some outstanding stops earlier in the inning, but he couldn't stop that one. Boy, that ball just bounced right between the wickets. And it is now a 3-2 ball game. So Calez comes in to score. And now Geis, the tying run, is at second base. He's in scoring position. There's still only one out in the inning. By all rights, there shouldn't be any outs in the inning because Lorain ran themselves into an out. But the Titans now with a chance to tie this ball game. And they've pulled to within one, 3-2 contest. Antone Edwards ahead in the count at 1-0. And Edwards skies one into left field. Perrin drifting back, settles under it, and makes the catch for out number 2. Staying right at second base is Marcel Geis. 2 down for the Titans. As Justin Victor will now face Colin Bryant. Colin Bryant, .413 batting average, 1 for 2 in the ball game. 3-2. Titans with 2 runs here in the home half of the fifth. Sophomore Justin Victor with a curveball, bounced up the middle into center field for a base hit. Geis rounding third, and the ball goes underneath Ratliff's glove. Geis scores on the play, and down to second goes Colin Bryant, and we've got a tie ball game. It's 3-3. Well, Colin Bryant with the RBI single, and then he goes down the second on the air by center fielder Dan Ratliff. Geis running all the way with 2 outs. And this game is tied at 3. There's a pitch high and wide to Thomas Holloway. Well, Justin Victor not able to close the door here in the fifth for Elyria. 3 runs are in. for Lorain High. They've tied this game at 3, and there's a line drive. Base hit into right field. Rounding third is Colin Bryant. He's being waved in, and the Titans lead it 4-3. An RBI single by Thomas Holloway to give Lorain the lead. How about the Titans with a 4-run uprising here in the bottom of the 5th? Thomas Holloway with RBI number 19 on the season. 4-3 Lorain High. Holloway at first, and Desmond Geis will now step in. The pitch up high for ball 1. Desmond Geis 0 for 2. Flew out to center. And then hit into a tough double play. Boy, he hit a ball pretty hard, but it deflected off Illyria's starting pitcher, Ben Siniger, and went right to Dustin Stolarski. And Stolarski was able to step on the bag to retire the runner and then throw out Geis for the double play back in the 4th. Next pitch down low, count now 2-0 on Desmond Geis. The pitch, Geis with a bouncing ball underneath the glove of Inman into right field for a base hit. And so Desmond Geis with a single to right. And the inning keeps going for Lorain High. They now send their 9th batter to the plate this inning, Ryan Osco. Lorain has scored 4 here in the home half of the 5th to go up 4-3. Earlier in the ball game, we had Tom Schmuel on from First Energy Solutions, and of course, this ballpark is known as the Pipe Yard, powered by First Energy Solutions. And Tom was saying he hoped the lights would be on. Well, they are on now, shining brightly here at the Pipe Yard. There was a conference at the mound between the Elyria infield and their pitcher, Justin Victor. Everybody now back to their positions, and in will step Ryan Osco, 0 for 2 in the ball game. He is the 9th Titan to bat here in the 5th. Lorain has scored 4. And runners still at first and second with 2 down. Holloway at second, Geis at first. Victor working from the stretch. The pitch down low for ball 1. Again, Nandi Cruz behind the plate. Sanford Washington, our infield umpire. Terrific contest. What else would you expect? Elyria and Lorain. There's a curveball that stayed up high, and the count is now 2-0. They'll do it again on Wednesday in tournament play over at Lorain High. The winner of that one will come right back and play Thursday against the winner of Midview and Avon Lake. Victor working from the stretch. The 2-0 pitch. That ball spanked into right field, and it will bounce in front of Spencer Smith and get by him. Coming around third and scoring is Holloway. Rounding third and coming in is Desmond Geis. Ending up down at second is Osco, and it is now a 6-3 Titan advantage. Boy, Spencer Smith is having a nightmarish evening in right field for Elyria High. The single and another error on Smith puts Osco down at second. We'll give Osco 1 RBI as the second run, Geis, scored on the air. Six runs in, and for the second time this inning, Paul Camacho will hit. Pitch low and away for ball 1. Actually, ball 2. I was looking at my score sheet. Missed the first pitch from Justin Victor. So Camacho batting for the second time here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Lorain has erupted for 6 runs. And there's another pitch that bounces in, and the count is now 3-0 on Paul Camacho. Boy, it has been a rough inning for one Justin Victor. He came on with Elyria leading 3-1. Lorain now leads it 6-3. 3-0 the count on Camacho. That pitch inside for ball 4. Ooh, or was it a 2-0 pitch? Well, the scoreboard still shows 3-0. Maybe there had been a timeout called. Anyway, the next pitch. There's a pitch at the ankles for a called strike. And the count is now 3-1. Victor from the stretch. The pitch, that one's outside for ball 4. Second time this inning that Paul Camacho has walked. And so that'll bring on Adrian Calez. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Boy, Elyria just somehow hoping this inning can end. Osco at second, Camacho at first. Here's Adrian Calez. And the pitch from Victor bounces into Brody Stewart for ball 1. And I'm sure the frustration mounts for Justin Victor right now. The 1-0 pitch from Victor. It's a curveball, bouncing ball into left field. That'll be a base hit. Rounding third is Osco. Perrin's throw cut off, and it is now a 7-3 Titan lead. An RBI single by Adrian Calez.
Adrian Calez with his second RBI hit for the inning. Third of the game.
Boy, a 7-run bottom of the 5th for Lorain High. And I think Ed Piazza is going to get Justin Victor out of there. He is. So a pitching change for Elyria High. They'll bring in their third pitcher this inning. We'll take a quick timeout, let you know who he is after this on the Colson & Colson Diamond Duel. It's on WEOL and it's on the web at WEOL.com.
I'm Bubba Stewart. Want to play? If you haven't picked up a musical instrument, maybe it's time to start. And there's no better way to express yourself and have fun with your friends. Learn more at wannaplaymusic.com.
Boy, a tough outing for sophomore Justin Victor, as he couldn't hold the lead for Elyria High, and so Ed Piazza has gone to the bullpen again here in the bottom of the 5th, and it will be right-hander junior Steve Poskisil on for Elyria High. Elyria coming in at 11-11 on the year. Lorain High at 13-7. Pioneers got a brilliant start tonight from Ben Siniger. Siniger left in the 5th inning, holding a 3-1 lead. And then Justin Victor came on and he just ran into some rough waters. And now, 6 runs later, Lorain with a 7-3 lead. We're still in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Lorain High with runners at first and second. 2 down, but again, 7 runs in, and it will be Steve Poskisil to face Andre Morales. Camacho at second, Calez at first. Morales is the number 9 hitter, as he also bats for the second time here in the 5th, and Poskisil's first pitch is a called strike. Elyria with a run in the first, 2 in the third, but Lorain High with a huge 7-run 5th inning here at the Pipe Yard. The 0-1 pitch, that one's outside, and the count is now 1-1 on Andre Morales. Junior came in hitting .216 on the year. Steps in with 2 down and runners at first and second. Poskisil's pitch, and that one a little looper caught by second baseman Mike Izzarelli. and that will retire the side. So Pospisil induces Morales into a pop-out, but boy, the damage done by the Titans. They score 7 here in the bottom of the 5th. Lorraine High leading Elyria 7-3 as we head to the top of inning number 6 on the Colson and Colson Diamond Duel. It's on WEOL and it's on the web at WEOL.com.
McGruff the crime dog here. We've all heard of identity theft. Now I'm going to show you how those thieves do it. Watch. He's secretly photographing her credit card with his cell phone. Now watch. They pretend they have a package to deliver, and while they're trying to fit it in the mailbox, they're taking her credit card payments and other paid bills. To learn how to protect yourself from identity theft, go to weprevent.org. Keep your identity to yourself and help take a bite out of crime.
As Lorraine High erupts for 7 runs in the bottom of the 5th. They now lead it 7-3 over Elyria. And for the Pioneers here in the top of the 6th, it will be Spencer Smith, the number 9 hitter, in the top of the order, Mike Izzarelli and Chris Emerson. 7-3 Lorraine High. As we head to the top of inning number 6, Tim Elkhorn with you, back in the studios of AM 930 WEOL. He's the very best in the business. Great job spinning the dials by Alan Calcaterra. Of course, on site, we are tied in with WLCS TV 20, Lorraine City Schools Television. Joe Bach manning the camera as members of the Lorraine Video Club on hand, including future ESPN broadcaster Zach Truman. Zach told me that himself. He's going to work for ESPN. I hope he likes Connecticut. It's an expensive state, Zach. High taxes there in Connecticut. First pitch to Spencer Smith is inside for a ball. Smith then lines one down the left field line, and it is foul in the bullpen down and left. Count is now 1-1 on Spencer Smith. Marcel Geis has gone the distance for Lorraine High. Geis came into tonight with a 1-1 mark, 2.55 ERA. The 1-1 pitch to Smith, way outside. Count now 2-1. Two-one pitch from Geis, a swing and a miss, and the count evens up at 2-2 on Spencer Smith. Spencer 0 for 2 tonight, struck out swinging back in the second, flew out to center fielder Adrian Calez in the third. Next pitch, breaking ball, strike 3 called, and Smith knew it. What a great pitch by Marcel Geis. And for Geis, that is his 5th strikeout in the ball game. One down here in the top of the 6th. Elyria trailing for the first time tonight. 7-3 Lorraine High leading. And it's the top of the order for the Pioneers, Mike Izzarelli. Izzarelli 1 for 2 with a walk. Takes a breaking pitch that stays up high for ball 1. Boy, a nice night for baseball here in Lorraine. A bit chilly. Somewhat like a September or October night. There's a fastball that's up high. The count is now 2-0. But the fans are enjoying this one. It's been a good contest. A little bit sloppy, but entertaining. There's a ball popped to the infield. Settling under at second baseman, Ryan Osco puts it away for out number 2. So Ryan Osco retires Mike Izzarelli as one second baseman pops out to another. 2 up, 2 down for Elyria here in the top of the 6th. Here's Chris Emerson. Chris had an RBI triple in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the second, bounced out to third in the fourth. 2 down, nobody on for Elyria. Lorraine High with a 7-run 5th, leading this one 7-3. And the first pitch to Emerson is up high for ball 1. Marcel Geis from the full windup. The 1-0 pitch. That's a great curveball right on the outside corner. Well, perhaps that first pitch was a strike because the scoreboard showing 0-2 on Chris Emerson. So the 0-2 pitch, fouled off to the left. Again, Elyria High the all-black uniforms. I don't think I've ever seen Elyria in all black. Black shirts, black pants, white letters and numbers trimmed in the red. Boy, there's some Pioneer red. The trim. Lorain High. Home whites. White shirts with the blue letters and number. Silver trim with the gray pants. Marcel Geist looking into battery mate Colin Bryant. The pitch, bouncing ball to second. Osco moves to his left, stumbles from his knees, throws in time. Oh, what a play by Ryan Osco. Stumbling, fumbling out there at second. And from his knees, he throws out Emerson to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Elyria, top of the 6th. We head to the home half of the 6th. Lorain High leading the Pioneers 7-3. Coming back to the Pipe Yard, powered by First Energy Solutions. After this, on the Colson and Colson Diamond Duel. It's on WEOL and it's on the web at WEOL.com.
What do a store owner, a mother of 2, and an honor student have in common? They've all recovered from a mental health problem, and they're all part of our lives. Mental health problems are surprisingly common. They affect almost every family in America, maybe even yours. Get the facts about mental health. Call 1-800-789-2647 because mental health is part of all our lives.
It comes your way from the Pipe Yard, powered by First Energy Solutions here in Lorain. Game 2 of the doubleheader celebrating Andrew Rube Foster Night. A salute to the Negro Leagues here in the city of Lorain. Hats off to Ray Carrion, Community Development Director for the city of Lorain. Brian Corey, Lorain City Schools Athletic Director. Lorain Mayor Chase Rittenauer and everybody involved with putting together this very special night. We've had 2 good ball games to celebrate Rube Foster Night. Game 1, Rob Polinsky had it for you on WEOL. Vermillion beat Clearview 4-3. Game 2, Lorain High with a 7-run, bottom of the 5th, as overtaking Elyria. Lorain leading the Pioneers by a score of 7-3 as we head to the home half of inning number 6. And it's the top of the order for Lorain. Steve Poskisil still on the mound for Elyria as Marcel Geist slices one foul off to the left. It'll be Geist, Antone Edwards, and Colin Bryant here in the bottom of the 6th for Lorain. Against right-hander Steve Poskisil. Next pitch, a curveball that stays outside, and the count is now 1-1 on Marcel Geist. Tim Elkhorn with you. Glad to have WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television, tied into our audio feed tonight. Poskisil's next pitch, a fastball that's outside, and the count 2-1 on Marcel Geist. Mentioned earlier, this is our final regular season Colson and Colson Diamond Duel, but we certainly will have some postseason baseball and softball. There's a swing and a miss by Marcel Geist. He had a good cut at that one. And the count 2-2 on the Titan leadoff hitter. Right-hander Steve Poskisil looking in. The 2-2 pitch upstairs. Count now 3-2 on Geist. Titans at 13-7. Elyria right at the 500 mark. 11-11 on the year. Count runs full on Geist. The 3-2 pitch inside for ball 4. So Marcel Geist draws the leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 6th. So Elyria will need a big rally in the top of the 7th, or they're going to dip below that 500 mark. Here's Antone Edwards for Lorain High, senior third baseman. Came in hitting .450 on the year. Now Marcel Geist running over at first base. Of course, he's the pitcher, so they're going to give him a jacket to put on. Well, see, now that's old school. So I said they're going to give him a jacket. That's what they used to do. Nowadays, you put the hoodie on. Yeah, Marcel Geist gets that nice warm hoodie to put on. Man, I'm getting old. Back in the old days, man, those guys would button up that jacket. Not anymore. Here's Antone Edwards. As Poskisil now works from the stretch. There goes Geist, the pitch outside. Stewart's throw down, not in time. I'll tell you what, that hoodie warmed up Marcel Geist. It got the juices flowing. He was off on the first pitch. And a stolen base for Marcel Geist. That is his 10th stolen base on the year. So Geis now at second. The count 1-0 on Antone Edwards. Poskisil's pitch right down the pipe. And the count is now 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 on, nobody out. Bottom of the 6th, Lorraine High leading Elyria by a score of 7-3. There's a curveball, smoked to third, but the catch is made by Emerson. Throws to second, and it goes off the glove of second baseman Izzarelli. And now to third will go Geis. Oh my goodness. Well, Edwards hit that one hard down to Emerson, and then Emerson had a chance to double up Geis, but the throw went off the glove of Izzarelli. I guess we'll call that E4. I think Mike should have caught that ball. And on the air by Izzarelli, Geis then motored over to third. And now the Elyria infield will come in. They can't afford to give up another run. And Bryant takes a curve ball, and it is perfect for strike 1. So Colin Bryant, with the infield drawn in, steps in with Geis at third. Lorraine looking to add to a 7-3 lead. The pitch from Poskisil, and that's a strike at the knees. And the count is now 0-2 on Colin Bryant. Poskisil desperately could use a strikeout right here for Elyria. And of course, for Lorraine High, all they're hoping for Colin Bryant to do is punch it over that drawn-in infield. The 0-2 pitch, he skies it to center. That'll do it. Dan Ratliff drifts back, makes the catch in deep center field, but Geis will score easily. He could have crawled home, and it is now an 8-3 Titan advantage. So Colin Bryant with the sacrifice fly to deliver Marcel Geis. And it is now a 5-run advantage for the Titans.
Number 35, Thomas Holloway.
So here's Thomas Holloway. Bases are empty and 2 down. As Holloway steps in for the 4th time tonight, takes one low and away for ball 1. If you're looking to the Elyria top of the 7th, it'll be the 3-4-5 hitters, Mike Perrin, Marcus Inman, and Troy Gostchevsky. We'll see if Brad Turnus lets Marcel Geis try to close this one out with a complete game. There's a fastball up high to Thomas Holloway. Holloway has lined out to short, reached on a walk, and had an RBI single. Seems like everybody had an RBI for Lorraine in that 7-run 5th. There's a pitch low and away. Count now 2-0 on Thomas Holloway. 2 down, nobody on for Lorraine here in the home half of the 6th. But they have added another run and now lead it 8-3 over Elyria. Poskisil rocks and throws. That pitch is on the outside corner. Well, Nandi Cruz put the right hand up right there. That I saw, even though the scoreboard went to 3-0. I think it's 2-1. And the pitch, that one's low and away. Well, it was 3-1 because that's ball 4. So Holloway draws his 2nd walk tonight.
Number 2, right fielder Desmond Geis.
And that'll bring on Titan right fielder Desmond Geis. And again, we don't know how quickly things will go for Elyria in the home half of the 7th. Again, this game went 9 innings last year, but in case we forget, as Geis swings and misses at the first offering from Poskisil for strike 1. Just want to send out a huge thank you to Lorraine Community Development Director Ray Carrion for having us here tonight. Lorraine City Schools Athletic Director Brian Corey. They are always terrific to work with. There's a ball hit right back to Poskisil. Flip it to first for the putout, and that'll do it for Lorraine here in the 6th. And we'll close out our thank yous and perhaps this ball game. We'll find out. Top of the 7th comes your way after this. Lorraine High with an 8-3 lead over Elyria. Can the Pioneers rally in the top of the 7th? We'll find out after this on the Colson and Colson Diamond Duel. It's on WEOL, and it's on the World Wide Web at WEOL.com.
I love the concept of mentoring because you're really able to make a difference in the life of one young person.
My mentor is a role model for me. She told me about all the opportunities that there is in life.
She has transformed into an amazing young woman, and I feel so fortunate to be a part of that. I think a mentor can really open the eyes of a young person to all the possibilities that are out there for them if they just go after their dreams.
So get involved and do your part. Invest in the future. Mentor a child.
And I think we're going to see a pinch hitter now for Elyria to open up the top of the 7th. Indeed, it's going to be Tyler Ramirez, senior. So Ramirez will hit for Mike Perrin. So Ramirez steps in to face Geis. When I was mentioning just some of the thank yous, certainly to Ray Carrion, Brian Corey, everybody involved with putting this game on. Lorraine Mayer, Chase Rittenauer. We had Chase on before the contest. He threw out the ceremonial first pitch here tonight. And we were joking with Mayor Rittenauer, if you weren't with us earlier, it was a little bit high, but it was right over the plate. Chase Rittenauer said if Shaquille O'Neal had been in the batter's box, it would have been a letter high strike. But it's a special night here in Lorain, the 5th annual Rube Foster night, and I'm sure they're going to be holding it in future years. Again, a very, very special tribute paid before the ball game to tonight's honoree, Mamie Peanut Johnson. What a story she had as far as being a female pitcher in the Negro Leagues. And again, it wasn't just a gimmick. It wasn't just something that they did to draw some fans. Her record in the Negro Leagues, pitching for the Indianapolis Clowns, 33-8. And she also hit .273. And we had hoped to have Peanut join us, but she's elderly now, and so the trip up to the press box would have been quite a challenge for her. So we completely understand that she wasn't able to make it as Ramirez fouls the first pitch to the screen for ball 1. But congratulations to Mamie Peanut Johnson, as she got a rousing ovation from the fans here at the Pipe Yard tonight. Also want to thank Tom Schmuel from First Energy Solutions for joining us during the 2nd inning of tonight's game. Had a good conversation with Tom. Ramirez takes one low and inside. Evens up the count at 1-1. How about the commitment First Energy Solutions has made to the Pipe Yard? 8 years. There will be a financial investment as well. There's a high chopper to first fielded by Holloway, and he will just, well, he was going to put the tag on Ramirez. Ramirez stopped in his tracks. Holloway said, well, I'll wait for you. And so Ramirez said, no, you won't. And so Holloway then had to step on the bag. You don't see that too often. And for Elyria, we're going to have another pinch hitter as Eddie Piazza gets some new guys in the ball game. Here's K.J. Allgood. So K.J. Allgood hitting for Marcus Inman. So Allgood steps in as Geis delivers a curveball. Boy, that's absolutely picture perfect, and the count 0-1 on K.J. Allgood. So Elyria down to their final 2 outs. 8-3, Lorain High leading this one. Geis's next pitch. That ball popped, and it ricochets into the stands right below us. And they've got some aluminum down there. Our field might pick that up. And the count now 0-2 on K.J. Allgood. Tell you what, Nandi Cruz may make that 9 o'clock dinner date. And of course, a huge thank you to Joe Bach. That's B-O-C-K from WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television, tied into our audio feed tonight. We always appreciate that. There's a curveball. That one spanked foul up the right field line. Joe Bach, you made the catch on the foul ball. How about that? That's B-O-C-K with the B-A-R-E hand. The barehanded snag by Joe Bach. Oh, my goodness. Oh, he'll be bragging all over Lorain now. There's a pitch up high, and the count is now 1-2. All right, maybe I shouldn't say he got that with the bare hand. Something tells me Bach doesn't have the dexterity to get that with the bare hand. He reached down and grabbed it as it was rolling by his feet. That's what I think happened. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Stays up high. Count now 2-2 on KJ Allgood. Allgood hitting for Marcus Inman with one down here in the top of the 7th. Lorraine Hyde leading this one 8-3. Hey, Bach, at the high school level, you have to give the ball back. You can't keep it. 2-2 pitch from Geis. Ooh, curveball just up high. And the count runs full on KJ Allgood. Tell you what, Marcel Geis has pitched himself a very nice ball game for Lorraine Hyde tonight. Left-hander has gone the distance. 3-2 pitch. A swing and a miss for strike 3. Boy, Marcel Geis put a little extra mustard on that one. And Geis fans Allgood for his 6th strikeout in the ball game. Well, I'm going to wait for Jim Allen to announce this name because I don't know who it is for Elyria. It's not on my roster. Let's just say number 10 steps in for Elyria. 2 down, nobody on. The pitch from Geis is a curveball for strike 1. Reminds me of a funny clip I saw on, I believe it was Facebook. They were showing a video of a spring training game. There's a pitch fouled at the plate. The count now 0-2. And they were showing a video from a St. Louis Cardinals spring training game. And there was a runner standing at third. See, Joe Bach would appreciate this story. And underneath the runner standing at third, they put minor league guy. They didn't, I mean, that's professional Major League Baseball, and they didn't know who it was. I saw that, I thought, okay. So it happens at all levels.
The name of the number 10 player at the plate right here in the press box.
So the count is 0-2 as Elyria is down to their final strike. 8-3 Lorraine High as they look for their 14th win of the year. But how bad of a ribbing do you think that guy took when that went out on Facebook? Hey, there you are, minor league guy standing at third. The 0-2 pitch, that one's skied off to the right and out of play. Count remains 0-2. See, I'm sure now at some point during this broadcast on WLCS, Joe Bach's going to put audio courtesy of WEOL's announcer. Another 0-2 pitch. There's a bouncing ball to short. This might do it. Scooped up by Morales. Throws across. Not in time. Well, Elyria High will stay alive.
And a risky play. That's an outfield base hit.
So Illyria's night is not done yet.
This one, too, we have no name for tonight's number.
So we've got our second straight pinch hitter that we don't have a name for. Here's number 11. So number 10 reached on an infield hit, and now number 11 will step in with 2 down and a runner at first. Geis from the stretch, and there's a curveball that's outside for ball 1. 8-3 Lorraine High. Elyria with a run in the first and 2 in the third had a 3-0 lead before the Titans erupted for 7 in the 5th. There's a fastball up high, and the count is now 2-0 on number 11. Right-handed batter. Anthony Pierce. Oh, we got Anthony Pierce. All right. There's a pitch up high to Anthony Pierce. So we know it's Anthony Pierce in this pinch hitting appearance. And Pierce ahead in the count at 3-0. See, these type of scenarios will give Brad Turnus gray hairs. 2 down, nobody on. An infield hit to the first pinch hitter, and now Pierce ahead in the count at 3-0. And that pitch, a called strike on the inside corner. I'm sure Brad Turnus is saying, just get the final out. Geis looking into Colin Bryant. The 3-1 pitch. That ball hit down the right field line, giving chase Desmond Geis, and he makes the catch in fair territory, and that will end the ball game. So the Lorain High Titans go to 14-7 on the year as they win this one by a final of 8-3. Elyria High drops to 11-12 on the campaign. But these two teams are going to get real used to one another. They square off again on Wednesday in tournament play over at Lorain High School. But the second game of our doubleheader tonight belongs to the Titans as they knock off Elyria by a final of 8-3. We'll be back and we'll wrap it all up from the Pipe Yard, powered by First Energy Solutions after this timeout on the Colson & Colson Diamond Duel. It's on WEOL, and it's on the World Wide Web at WEOL.com.
We're going camping, right?
Hey, guys.
The strongest families are built one moment at a time. For more ways to make every day count, visit facebook.com/makeeverydaycount.
For the doubleheader in the 5th annual Rube Foster Night, Rob Polinsky right here on WEOL had the first game from the Pipe Yard. Vermilion upending Clearview in a very good game, 4-3. And in our nightcap here tonight before a loud and boisterous crowd, and one that certainly enjoyed today's baseball, it was Lorain High coming back from that 3-0 deficit to beat Elyria 8-3 with the victory. Lorain High now 14-7 on the year. Marcel Geis goes the distance. What a performance by Geis. He is now 2-1 on the year. Elyria wasted a great start. First start of the year for Ben Siniger. He left the ball game with Elyria High leading 3-1. But the bullpen couldn't hold it for him. But Ben Siniger, I'll tell you what, he showed Eddie Piazza something. He had a terrific start for Elyria High tonight, but they gave up those 7 runs in the bottom of the 5th and then 1 more in the 6th. And Lorain High wins it by a score of 8-3. We mentioned that Marcel Geis will get the win for Lorain High to go to 2-1 on the year. Justin Victor will take the loss for Elyria. Again, Elyria scored the game's first run in the top of the first as Mike Izzarelli had a single. He was driven in on an RBI triple by Chris Emerson. Pioneers would add 2 more runs in the third. A triple by Troy Goschewski. He was driven in on an RBI single by Dan Ratliff. And then Dustin Stolarski singled to right. The ball got by Desmond Geis, and that error by Geis allowed Ratliff to score. And Elyria had themselves the 3-0 lead. But then in that home half of the 5th, Lorain High with 7 runs in the inning. In fact, Lorain High in the inning would send 10, 11, 12 batters to the plate when they scored the 7 runs. And, of course, there were a couple of big hits in that inning. A double by Calez, an RBI single by Osco, the one you just heard, an RBI single by Holloway. Big hits all around for Lorain High in that inning. And then they would add another run in the bottom of the 6th. And in the bottom of the 6th, it would be Geis that led off the inning with a walk, stole second, and then he scored on the sacrifice fly by Colin Bryan after he went to third on an error. So it was a terrific win tonight for the Titans, and again with the victory, they are now 14-7. Elyria drops to 11-12 on the year.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.